Hey Thomas, how are you?
Jonathan, I am doing fantastic, my friend. What do you got for me today?
Let me talk about how Meta just announced that they're going to be providing education and training for ages 13 and up on the metaverse and how that's going to affect
Uh,
the upcoming, kids and young adults.
yeah, the VR goggles. Okay. You know what? I mean, the ones of us that are actually keeping our finger on the pulse, we saw this coming. All right. They're actually eventually going to look to, close down schools. That's what they're going to look to do, the physical buildings, and have these kids be, educated virtually through their computers and through these goggles, where it's going to become like a 3D world. This is dangerous, very dangerous, because you're screwing with human nature. You're screwing with people being able to communicate face to face, having that energy with one another. And we've kind of seen this in a similar sense over the last 4 years because of the COVID shutdowns. There are so many young people suffering from, mental issues, anxiety issues. You know, um, I have a few personal friends of mine with their kids. It's a horror story. Some of these kids are suicidal, and it's like they're holding their parents hostage. Almost, if I can't do that. I have a fear I'll kill myself. And the parents freak out. They don't know what to do, and it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse with this because there's the reason why people have to be around each other. Listen, it's all right to, another thing is they always talk about, oh, you can't be mean or that. I grew up in an era, listen, I'm glad I grew up when I grew up. But listen, everybody called everybody names or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have thicker skin. And most of the time, you're breaking bread with those people anyway. So it's part of growing up. They're making people very thin skinned. People are not going to have what I call B&B, balls and backbone. They're very weak. Young men today have lower testosterone than ever before. I talk to women. Met a woman this weekend, 30 years old, and she says dating's so tough. I say it's tough because men don't know how to be men anymore. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're not kidding." It's just like it's sad what's happening. But this metaverse VR is a very dangerous plateau we're coming into. Your thoughts, Jonathan? Because I know you have a young little guy.
So I mean, I know the metaverse. I mean, it's funny because one of my associates everyone was buying, metaverse real estate, and they were, mortgaging their actual house to buy houses on, metaverse, and all this. And it is scary because people need more interaction in person, not less, right? So if you have a VR for your PlayStation or for, you bought the new Apple one, you play around with it. That's one thing if you're playing with it. But if you're substituting physical, you know, well-being and being around people and having play dates and playing with your friends and just being around humans, right? We're so, like you said, we're so thin skinned, we're so sensitive. We need more interaction with people, not less. And COVID really did a big number on a lot of people.
Oh,
They got
oh, you're not kidding.
People really got into their safety nets, right? Was that their house, their room, their basement, whatever it may be, and they just don't want to come out. They don't want to talk. I mean, forget about meeting with people and going out on dates and going, to the movies with your friends or whatever it may be. Forget about that for a second. People don't like talking on the phone. They don't like, they won't do video calls. They want to just text, right? Email, text, Snapchat, whatever it may be, and we're losing that personal touch with our fellow friends and family.
Mhm.
Um, I wouldn't be I don't think that's a good idea with trying to remove that physical presence, and
Mhm.
I don't think there's a way of stopping it at this point. I think people are in for it. People want it. People like it. People are more
Mhm.
in tune with that way of being. So it's something we have to pay attention to, and be very very cautious because you do not want to have your anyone in your family friends avoiding contact with people uh
Mhm.
because it's important for your lifestyle.
Yeah. It's the old adage, be careful what you wish for. And um, people really have to see beyond what's in front of them. They have to really see. You have to start asking yourself those questions: who, what, where, when, and how, and why. Um, because this is technology can be a good thing. It definitely can if you're used to an advantage. When the internet first started, what was the biggest thing that actually grew unbelievably in the internet back in the early 90s when it came out? Porn, 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 porn. So, of course, they set up like, oh, let's do sex. And that became a big driver. You know, you actually had a guy up in Washington State. He rented this house and he paid for the girl's education for college, but he was allowed to have video cameras in all the rooms and the showers and, girl, whatever, but that's the point. And people made a lot of money. You weren't using the internet for what you should have been using it for. Third world countries could have actually taken them to another level, moving their gross domestic product internationally a lot easier because of communications on the internet when it first started. But of course, they got to dive into the most darkest areas. And this metaverse is going to be used in the most darkest sense because they're going to hurt the growth of people. Now, with these students being educated in the metaverse, how do you think they're going to be when they come into their 20s in the workforce? How are they going to be when they're in the... See, that's what you got to look at. Now, again, look past, like I just said, look past what's in front of you. This is actually going to screw them up. And if you don't think so, then go back to what I said and Jonathan reinforced. Look what COVID's done over the last 4 years to these young people. It's been detrimental to them, and that's exactly what it is. This is what's happened with metaverse. It has to be stopped, but it won't be stopped, but it has to be. It's a very, very scary situation, and I know you'll keep an eye on your son in that to make sure, but not many parents are going to be doing that, and that's the scary thing. You got to be on top of it.
Be on top of it, your kids, your family, your friends, you always should check in on them. Mental health is so important. So many people avoid it, right? They don't want to talk about it. It's an important topic to always bring to the table, make sure that people are okay, they're comfortable, that there's nothing, wrong that they can't handle. So anything, I'm all in for anything that helps people be more open and help people come out and
100%.
be more comfortable. Be happy, man. All you want to do is be happy. Yeah. Life is short. Enjoy your life. Think of the good things. Do the good things. Be good to everyone around you and treat people how you want to be treated. But, is the metaverse going to be a positive thing? It could have positive things that it could do for you. Like, let's say if you're an architect, I've seen architects already do this, that now you can walk through a house that you want to build before you build it. That's a great thing. A great use of virtual technology, right? So there are good
100%.
uses for it. We just have to find and pick the right ones that are good for our well-being, and that's something that everyone should pay attention to.
Yeah, the thing that scares me about these virtual goggles, let it be Metaverse, let it be Apple, or whoever else, you can indoctrinate people very easily, and people are very gullible. They're very naive, and you know what? It's like the old fairy tale of the Pied Piper playing, and everybody will just follow. You know what? As I tell people, wake up and wake up quickly because it's not a good sign. All right, listen, hopefully we're giving you some creative knowledge for you, what's happening out there. We appreciate your time. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up, like button. You guys have a great week. Take care.
Everyone.